What's up, guys? Today we're going to cover how to start, scale, and automate a social media marketing agency. And here's the 6-step formula we're going to cover in today's training. And by the way, guys, I know your time's super valuable, so I designed this training to be fast-paced and value-packed for you as possible. Let's jump right into it. So here's step 1, build your foundations. Step 2, find hidden gem clients. Step 3, secure meetings. Step 4, close clients. Step 5, get ridiculous results for your clients. And step 6, automate and scale your agency to 6 figures and beyond. So let's jump right into step 1, build your foundations. So here's the thing that you're going to need to start your agency: a computer. That's literally the only thing you need to start your social media marketing agency. And here's what you need to create: Facebook account, a business Facebook page, Facebook business manager, basic website. You can do that on Squarespace and create that in 1 hour. Don't spend a ridiculous amount of time on this, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And by the way, guys, you don't have to write all this down. I'm going to give you guys all the training slides at the end. And here's what you don't need right away: a legal business, business cards, employees, social media following, and pretty much literally anything else that you probably think you need to start an agency, you don't need. Trust me, guys. When I first started my agency, I wasted my time on so many of these things. The only thing you need right now when you're just starting your social media marketing agency, if you have 0 clients, the only thing you need is clients. So here's the only 3 things you should be focusing on when you're starting your social media marketing agency. And this is going to save you so much time. It's going to allow you guys to grow your agency way faster than you could have any other way. The only 3 things you should be focusing on with your social media marketing agency is getting meetings, closing meetings, and providing results. So the keys to building your foundations: first off, you got to know what the heck you're even doing. So pretty simple. What are you doing? You're bringing businesses more customers. That's the easiest way to describe your business. And for me specifically, you can design your social media marketing agency around anything. You can bring more customers by doing this or that, or you can work with a specific type of customer. But for me, it's bringing more customers with Facebook ads, because I specifically focus on Facebook advertising. And you preferably even want to niche it down, because when your clients hear this phrase, then they will feel like it's specifically made for them, and it'll cause the clients to be a lot more likely to work with you if you have a phrase that's very specific to them. So an example of a specific phrase you can have is: I help wedding photographers book more high-ticket clients with Facebook ads. If you are a photographer, you can't really tell me that that would be very appealing to you. So you try to figure out what are the specific things that your industry wants, and then what's the best way to get them that. So in my case, I use Facebook ads. In a lot of your cases, you can pretty much use Facebook ads to get what your clients want. And another key is you guys have to have the right mindset. And this is something that I pretty much never see anybody talk about. And first of all, you need to have the mindset that I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve my goal. And I know I will achieve it if I put in the work and improve every single day. This is an absolute key, because if you want to grow your agency to 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever amount of money or whatever your goal is, you need to be willing to put in the work every single day, improve every day, and you're going to do whatever it takes. You're not going to try it for a couple weeks and then give up. You're not even going to try it for a couple months and give up. You got to stick to this until you actually do it. And you have to have that mindset that you're going to put in the work every day until you do it. It doesn't matter if it takes you 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 10 years. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes if you're going to be successful. And this goes no matter what business you're going to start. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get to what your goal is. And you also need to get rid of your limiting beliefs. So these are definitely limiting beliefs that I had to start, especially I'll never be good at sales, because I thought I wasn't a salesperson. At the beginning of my agency, I even tried to hire a salesperson because I thought I would never be good at sales. But you need to get rid of your limiting beliefs. So like, for example, I'll never be good at sales, or I'm not techie enough, or there's too much competition, etc. What I would suggest is write down all those limiting beliefs that you have and put a new rephrased thing that you're going to start telling yourself in your mind. So instead of saying I'll never be good at sales, for example, you're going to start telling yourself, I'm going to work on my sales and I'm going to become one of the top sales people in the United States, or whatever country you're in, or whatever you think that you want to say, or I'm going to become an amazing salesperson. Because you really can change. And by the way, guys, I'll talk about this later, but sales is not a trait, it's a skill that you build. So everybody's bad at sales at the start. It's just like a skill that you build, just like anything else. So you also have to understand that failure equals feedback, and you have to be okay with failing over and over again in order to learn. That's a super huge key. You cannot look at failure as a negative thing. You look at failure as progress. So it's just feedback. So if you fail, you reach out to a client, for example, and they don't respond, you're like, okay, they didn't respond. What should I do differently next time? So failure is pretty much feedback. So that's one thing you can rephrase your mind to be. And you must focus on this one business only. please do not try to start multiple businesses at once. If you want to have success with any business, you need to just focus on that business only from the very beginning and just focus on that until you get it successful and where you want to be at. So here's pretty much what we do and what I'm going to focus on in this training, because I believe this is the most effective way to market for businesses and bring them more customers. And I'll explain that a little bit more why later. But here's what we do. It's actually very simple. So here's how we bring businesses more customers pretty much. We run a Facebook ad. So you go on Facebook, you see a Facebook ad. You've probably seen those before. From the Facebook ad, when somebody clicks on the Facebook ad, we're going to collect a lead information, like a new customer information for the business. And then there's going to be a phone call or an appointment set or some kind of sale. So basically, we're going to send that information to the business so they can get a new customer. So in the Facebook ad, just to go into a little bit more detail with this, we're going to offer something of value for free or a reduced price. So for example, an offer could be a free session, a free consult, crazy discount, free resource, etc. And then it's going to go to a lead form, and I'll show you a real life example of this in a second. And by the way, guys, for you guys advanced guys up there, I know you might know this already, but don't worry, we're going to get into the deep stuff just in a little bit here. So a lead form, that's where you're going to capture the name, phone number, and email, and potentially even more information. You can ask questions here, whatever you want, qualifying questions, things like that. And then it's going to lead them to a thank you page, and that's going to have directions on what to do next or an incentive to take action now. So what does this actually look like? Well, here's a real life example of one of my clients. So here's what you would see on Facebook as a Facebook ad. Headline is pretty much thinking of joining a gym, and then it's kind of like a gym tour video. So it like shows them around the gym, shows them what it looks like, stuff like that. And then when they click on this ad, the offer of the ad is pretty much a 7-day pass. So like at the end of the video, he's like, shows them the gym, and then he's at the end, he's like, if you want to try out the gym, here's a free 7-day pass. All you got to do is click the link below. So when they click the link, there's going to be this thing that pops up on Facebook. It actually autofills their information. So this information automatically pops into Facebook. All they have to do is press submit, and then they've reserved their 7-day free pass. And then you've got instructions on telling the client on what to do next. And then from there, your client's going to get something like this. They're going to get a text message to their phone. So all they have to do is click that phone number, give them a call up, get them booked in for an appointment to get their free 7-day pass started or whatever offer. This doesn't only work for gyms. It works for literally any business. You just change up the offer, change up the ad a little bit, which we'll talk about later. And also we set up a Google spreadsheet that all the leads go into. This is automatically done through a program called Zapier. Don't have to remember that. That's a little bit more complicated that we'll get to later down the line. So don't worry about that too much. But basically, this is like a Google spreadsheet with all of the leads, and then your client can go in and update which of these leads have closed, which of these leads have come in for an appointment. That way you can directly track the return on investment for your client. So they can literally see you brought them this many new potential customers, this many people actually became customers, and then they're going to keep paying you every single month, because as long as you're bringing them a return, it's literally a no-brainer for them to keep paying you every single month. Let's say, for example, you're bringing them, they're paying you $2,000 a month, and you're bringing them $4,000 to $10,000 a month, they're going to keep paying you no questions asked. So here's some more examples of some other ads so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like for other industries too. And by the way, guys, you don't always have to do like a special offer. It can even be something as simple as like a free session or a free consult can be the offer, as long as your ad copy, your creative, and everything is good. Cover that again later once again. But here's another example of a solar company. They're pretty much offering 18 panels. Buy 18 panels, get 6 free pretty much, and that's a special price of starting at $2,999. Same thing, their lead information gets automatically filled. They have one simple question there that tells them to enter their address for a special analysis. And then finally, it leads them to a form, giving them directions on what to do. And this is a quick tip right here. It says, calling from your side to our office will put you in a priority list, as we get a lot of inquiries every day. So it says to call them or tap the button below to skip the wait and move to the front of the line. This is a really good strategy you can use to not only to have your client even do less follow-up. So a lot of leads will actually go ahead and call them if you put an enticing enough message there to telling them what to do. So hopefully some people will call the client themselves, so the client doesn't have to do as much work following up with them. So here's one last example for you guys of a cryotherapy studio. So the offer is pretty much try cryotherapy for only 45 pounds. And so it's got like a video of some people doing the cryotherapy and like their reactions and stuff. And then from there, so just same thing. And once again, except their information will be automatically filled. That's just not an accurate example of what it's actually like. Thank you page, once again, same thing. You guys get the idea. So how much will businesses pay you to pretty much do this? Well, businesses will pay you anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 plus per month to bring them new customers, not including ad spend. So anytime I talk about the monthly fee, that is not including the money you spend on ads, guys. That's all profit to you. So why are businesses willing to pay so much? It's pretty simple. New customers are worth a lot to businesses. Just for an example, one new dental or chiropractic patient may be worth anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000. Let me give you guys an example. Recently, at the dentist, I got my wisdom teeth taken out. That was like $2,500 just from that one thing alone. And I go to the dentist every 6 months. They charge me like $130, something like that. If I do extra stuff, like if I get a cavity, that's going to be like $300-$400, like every single time. Like that money adds up big time over the course of 1 year or multiple years. Same thing with the chiropractor. I also go to a chiropractor, and I've been paying him like $100 a month for like the last 6 months. But before that, it was even like $200 a month because I was going like 4 to 8 times a month. So like all of that adds up. And even the initial appointment with the chiropractor was like $150-$200. So all of that stuff adds up over time. And that's why clients are willing to pay you so much, because they're making more money back than they're paying you. That's pretty simple, right? So this is considered lifetime value. And a lot of times I also use the 1 year value of a customer, just because lifetime value, sometimes clients can be like, oh, I'm not willing to pay 10 years for. So just a quick tip for you guys that are into like lifetime value, stuff like that. So I use lifetime value a lot. And I also use like 1 year value of a customer too. Like for a gym, for example, I kind of look at their 1 year value of their membership, plus like the chances of them doing personal training, stuff like that. And that's how I calculate how much I can make a business based on how many new customers I get. So let's jump into step 2, find hidden gem clients. So how do you find hidden gem clients? And what do I mean by hidden gem clients? Well, I'll talk about that in a second, but here are the businesses that you absolutely want to avoid, because just avoiding these businesses alone will help you find some more of those hidden gem clients and save you guys a ridiculous amount of time. I made a lot of these mistakes myself, so please listen to me when I say these. Please avoid startups. You want to avoid failing businesses. Trust me, you guys, you're not going to be able to help their failing business. Difficult to sell. So what I mean by that is like if it's like a brand new kind of course or somebody's trying to get you to market their course, I don't recommend doing that kind of thing unless they already have a lot of proven sales. Once again, that would be kind of considered a startup. You want to try to go for things that are easy to sell. Like for example, things that people already know they need are more easy to sell than new things. So to give you an example, selling somebody on the gym, or selling somebody on the dentist, selling somebody on a chiropractor, or whatever kind of thing that people already know they need is a lot easier to sell than something new they've never heard of before. But you can definitely sell things that people have never heard of before if you sell it the right way. But it's a little bit easier to market for businesses that are easier to sell. And so here are the businesses to go after. You want to go after businesses with high customer value. This makes it easier for you to get a high return for them and justify them spending more money on you. Because once again, this business is not about how much time you put in. It's only about how much results you can get your client. That's the only thing they care about. They don't care about how many hours you put in. And that's why I like Facebook advertising way more than social media posting and anything else. I also recommend going after high rated businesses. I recommend at least like 4+ stars. That means they're not a failing business. They treat their customers really well. And you know that if you bring them customers, they're going to enjoy actually being part of that business. I don't want to promote businesses that are not a good business. I only want to promote businesses that are going to benefit the customers. So preferably you also want to go after businesses that are already spending money on marketing, because it's much easier to, like for example, I have this car dealership. They pay me $5,000 a month plus like another $5,000 ad spend. They have such a big marketing budget. It's crazy. So it's easier, and they pretty much were already working with a Facebook ads agency, and all they did was transfer the money to me. So if you can work with a business that's already spending money on marketing, it's a lot easier to convince a business to move their marketing money to you rather than trying to create marketing money out of nothing. So like if they have no marketing budget, it can be a little bit more difficult to get them to create one. Compared to if they already have a $50,000 per month marketing budget, it's very easy to convince them to move some of that over to you. So preferably also two or more locations can be really helpful. One, because you can get paid more, but also because the business is a lot more likely to have a proven process to closing new clients and things like that. A lot of times when you're working with single location, like small local mom and pop businesses, they're not very good at closing clients. Like even if you get clients that walk through the door, sometimes they're not even good at closing them. So if they have two or more locations, that means typically that they already have gotten the process down of closing new clients, and they're already a very good and sustainable business. And I also recommend another huge focus is highly organized. This is a huge key, and it's a huge thing that I've noticed between all of my best clients is they're highly organized. You can tell this when you meet with them. Like, do they show up on time? Do they got all their stuff in order? When you take a look into their business, like, is it highly organized? That can really help you find some good quality clients. And I also recommend working with the best in the area. So this is just helpful because if they're the best in the area and they've also got the best marketing in the area, that's you, then they're just going to absolutely explode their growth, and it just makes it easier to grow. There's no competition when you're the best in the area. So here are the ways to find hidden gem clients. One, the best way is your personal network. Reach out to your family members, your friends, everyone that you know. Like think about in your head, like who's your uncle that knows this guy, that knows this guy. Like expand your personal network as much as possible, because those are the easiest ones to get, the easiest clients to do, because they will already trust you because you have a personal connection with them in some way. Another good way is on Google. So if you're in a specific industry, all you do is go on Google, you search like a city name, and then you type what kind of client you want. So let's say you search like, let's just say random city name and then chiropractors. And then you find a bunch of chiropractors, you check which ones have the best reviews, like the most reviews, and you find the best one in the area. You can do that for literally like any city all over the world. LinkedIn is another great way. Same kind of thing there. You can just set your filters, stuff like that. Facebook groups is another amazing way. So you just go to like a Facebook group, for example, you say like, maybe you can even find a Facebook group that says like Facebook ads for chiropractors, or you find like a bunch of chiropractors in it. I'm using kind of like gym owners, chiropractors as a lot of examples in this, just in dentists, just because that's like something that everybody knows and understands. But don't limit yourself to those ones only, by the way, guys. So there's literally like infinite number of businesses you can work with. There's like roofers, plumbers, like any business you can think of has an amazing, almost any business, at least based on the parameters that I told you earlier, can be a great business to work with. And you can even maybe even do even better if you have like a smaller industry you're working with. So you can also by the way, with the Facebook groups, what you do is you join the group, and you basically go in and find people that are like actually chiropractors or whatever industry that you want, that's like the owner, and then you go ahead and add them as a friend, and then you can go ahead and once they've added you back, you can go ahead and message them a message template that I'll actually show you in a little bit here. So you can also, when you're scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, if you see ads on Facebook and they're not that good, you feel like you could do better, you could reach out to that business. You can also check like let's say you search chiropractors in this city and then some Google ads pop up. You already know they're spending money on Google ads, so that can be like a potential lead. If you get ads in the mail, and you could talk to that business that's getting ad in the mail, because remember, these guys are already running marketing, so they got that budget to spend on you already. You can, like if you see an ad on TV, your local TV, or you hear an ad on the radio that's like a local business, you could reach out to any of those businesses, and they're already spending money on marketing, so they're really good, high quality clients most of the time. So you can also use like a lead finder service like D7 Lead Finder. You can just look that up on Google, and that will just pretty much, you type in a city and like a certain industry you want, and it'll pop up pretty much leads in whatever industry you want, or a certain area. It doesn't have to be a specific city even. So what I recommend is start your journey by making a list of 10 to 30 businesses that you want to work with, that are high quality, that fit those parameters, and you can find them using all these methods. So I'd recommend start your journey by making a list of 10 to 30 businesses you want to work with, and then next we're going to pretty much reach out to them. So let's get into step 3, secure meetings. So here are the methods to secure meetings. 1, you've got your personal network. Once again, that's the easiest way. You can do cold email. You can do Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, walk-in, cold call, pretty much all options to secure meetings. And all of them work, by the way, guys. There's not one that's like better than the other, or this one works better than this. Don't overcomplicate it. You can try out multiple ones if you want, or you can even hit up the businesses from multiple different angles. That's even better. Or you can decide to focus on one. Like all of these work, it just comes down to, do you have the right strategy? So don't think about the wrong way. Don't be like, this one works, this one doesn't. No, these all work. It just comes down to having the right strategy no matter which one you pick. So I actually made some real life example messages and templates that you can send to businesses. And by the way, guys, these are templates. So remember, you have to customize these if you want them to work. You need to try to think about what's going to make my client, what's going to be like the most appealing thing ever to my client, like that they would absolutely have to respond to this. You need to think about that before you send the message, because you need to customize this to the business. Because if it doesn't sound customized, it just sounds like you're following a script, then they're not going to reply to you, of course. So remember, this is just a template to help you get started, but you need to customize it to make it super effective. So let's start out with this. This is just one example message. You just say, hey, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Straight off the bat, that's a pattern interrupt, gets their attention. I'm just getting started helping niche get result with Facebook ads, and I want to build a name for myself, and in order to do that, I need to get some big results for some key clients. Shows that you're motivated, and you're in that get result thing. It's showing that, once again, you're specific to them, and also you want to like get result, it should be like the number one thing that they really, really want in their business. And if you don't know what that is, you can go ahead and ask some people in that business, like, what is it that you're really struggling with or that you really, really want? And figure out what their deepest desires are and how you can be different. Because the key is with sending these messages, you got to keep in mind a lot of businesses get messages from marketers all the time. So all you need to do is be extremely unique and think about things that maybe even the business owner hasn't thought about that they really need. So a key is being unique and also customizing this so that it's extremely appealing to them. You want it to be so appealing that they cannot do anything but respond and think about this message and think about responding to this message. So back to the script. I'm just getting started helping niche get result with Facebook ads, and I want to build a name for myself. And in order to do that, I need to get some big results for some key clients. The parts and brackets, you would obviously fill that out with whatever you're offering. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in letting me run some Facebook ads to bring you some new customers for free. So this is like a free trial offer. So you'd run them some ads for a week for free, and they would have to pay like $100. Probably I would recommend like $20 a day in ad spend, and run it for like a week. That's 7 days, $20 a day. That's $140 they have to invest. Now you're doing it for free because you're not charging them your service free. So you literally are doing this free for them to get some new clients under your belt, to get some case studies. That way you can show to future clients and you can actually prove the results. Now, by the way, guys, you do not have to do work for free at the beginning. That is not mandatory. And I'll show you a second message here that's for a non-free trial. But I kind of do the free trial thing for people that are just starting out sometimes because it gives them confidence once they can bring the results for their clients. So if you feel like you need to gain some confidence, you're not feeling confidence in your results yet, you can do it this way. You can gain the trust first, and you can get like a really low barrier of entry, and you can get some case studies for free. Now, if you're already starting out and you already feel like you got it down, you want to just get started, I'll show you guys a second message. You can just get straight to like getting them to pay you right off the bat. That's actually the better thing to do long term, but this is just an example of like the easiest way to get some set up. And then pretty much, I was wondering if you'd be interested in letting me run some Facebook ads to bring you some new customers for free. All I require is a case study, testimonials, and 3 referrals once you see great results. And then pretty much you're just going to wait for the response at that point. If they don't respond, of course, you want to follow up with like creative messages and getting them to respond. But if you actually do what I've instructed so far, you customize this the right way, you can definitely get some good responses from this. And so here's message option number 2. Hey, name. I was looking for the best CrossFit studios in this city. I was looking for the best CrossFit studio in so-and-so city, for example. So what they are and make it sound exclusive, kind of like I just mentioned there. So I figured I'd send you a quick message to see if I'd be able to help. And if not, that's totally cool too. I like saying that because it makes it sound like not salesy at all. And you're not, by the way, guys, you're not going to be like pressuring these. You don't have to work with anyone. This is just seeing if they're interested. So by the way, I figured I'd send you a quick message to see if I'd be able to help. And if not, that's totally cool too. I'm looking to help a few. Same thing, once again, niche get result with Facebook ads or whatever you're offering with Google ads, whatever you decide is the best thing to offer. Would you happen to need any help with this? So you're literally just asking, would you happen to need any help with this? If they say no, that's totally cool. Like, you guys are not selling in this message. All your goal is to see if they're interested. And then if they are, you're going to set a meeting with them. And by the way, how do you set the meeting? Well, pretty much after they respond to this, like, yes, they're interested, give them like 2 or 3 time options, and then they'll pretty much reply to you with whatever time option they like best, and boom, you're good to go. You got it booked in for a meeting. That's pretty much that simple. So on to step 4, close clients. So what do you actually do once you get in the meeting with the client? We've covered how to find the clients. We've covered how to reach out to them and get them to set a meeting with you. But now actually, what do you do in the meeting itself? Well, here's the meeting structure that I recommend and that I follow with all my clients. First off, you want to set the objective of the meeting. As soon as you get into the meeting, and maybe even before that, you might want to let them know that I recommend recording all of your guys' calls when you meet with clients, so you can go back and watch them to figure out what you did wrong and what you did right. So first off, I'd recommend whenever you answer the call, just let them know like this is recorded for training and quality assurance or whatever you want to say. And then from there, I would just set the objective of the meeting. So you're going to tell them like how the meeting is going to go. So I would just say something along the lines of, hey, look, I'm just going to ask them questions to get to know more about your business and see if we can be able to help you out. And then if it seems like a good fit, I want to make you an offer at the end, and you can decide whether or not you want to start working with us or not. That's pretty much it. Something simple like that, whatever you want to say. But the thing is, you got to set the objective of the meeting. Secondly, you're going to figure out why they chose to meet with you. So you're going to say something along the lines of, what motivated you to meet with me today? So you want to figure out the reason why they're even here in the first place, because they probably have some kind of pain that brought them here in the first place. Then you want to get to understand and know their business. So you're going to ask them questions like, what's the average value of your customer, or like what's the lifetime value of your customer. If they don't know that, you're going to help them work it out for you. You can say like, how much do they pay you per month, or how much is this service, or on average, how much is each customer worth, and things like that. So you want to understand their business. You could ask like, how do you get clients normally, or how do you get most of your clients currently? Just questions like that, so you understand their business, you understand how it works, and you understand like where their bottlenecks are, what's preventing them from scaling up. Fourth, you want to figure out what their goal is and what obstacle is preventing them from achieving it. So you're just going to simply ask like, what's your goal? You might want to figure out like where they're currently at in revenue, for example, where they want to be at, how much are they making in revenue per month right now? How much do they want to be making? Or how many clients do they have per month right now? And how much do they want to have? And then you'd ask them like, okay, what's preventing you from getting there? So you can figure out what's preventing them from getting there, so you can see if your service helps them or not. And by the way, guys, with this meeting, it's not about selling them. It's about figuring out, it's about diagnosing their problem. You think about yourself as like a doctor. It's not like you're just trying to prescribe them the services no matter what. Like, wouldn't it be messed up if a doctor's just like prescribing his medicines to every single person that comes to the door? That's not right to do, right? So really what we're doing is we're figuring out what their problem is first. And then if our solution, like Facebook ads, whatever, solves their problem, then we will offer to them. So it's kind of like that. It's not like we're just going to make our offer to every single person if it's not a right fit. So if what you're offering solves it, you would want to ask if you'd like to share it with them. And then from there, you pretty much show them how our Facebook ad system works. You could even make a little diagram like I showed you guys earlier, showing how it works and like how they get the text messages, how they get the things like that, how they get the new clients, how it works for their business specifically. You can even talk about like, once you get a little bit good, you can show them like, talk to them about what it might look like for their business specifically. So they're like imagining the campaign in their head. They're imagining what the ads will be looking like in their head, and they're starting to get a little bit excited. And then from there, you might ask them what they don't like about it, or what they don't like about marketing in the past. This is really helpful because it will help you overcome their objections before you actually get to the price of your services. So like, you could ask them like, once you show them everything, I'll say, okay, awesome. So far, it seems like you're liking this process, but what do you not like about it? So if they say nothing, that's good, you're good to go, but you want to figure out if they have any problems with your method or something that they don't like. Or you could ask as well, like, okay, I know there's like a big stigma about marketing agencies. So what do you not like about marketing or marketing agencies? So then you're going to describe to you what things they don't like about marketing agencies, and you can get their cards on the table before they even get to these objections later on, and you can pre-solve their objections. So 8, you want to ask if they believe the situation, if they believe this solution will help their business achieve the goal. So you literally ask them like, okay, I've shown you this. We're expecting to bring you this much new customers, or our goal is to bring this. Do you believe that with the process that I've showed you, that we would actually be able to achieve this? So you're asking this question to figure out if they agree that your solution is the right solution for them, pretty much. And as long as they say yes, you're good. If they say no, you want to figure out why they're saying no, so you can solve that and get them to agree that this would solve their goal, as long as you know 100% sure this would solve their goal. So because it doesn't matter what you think, it only matters what they think and what they believe. That's why we're asking them if they agree that this will help them reach their goal. From there, you'd ask them when they would like to start. So most of the time they'll start like ASAP or in a month or 2 or something like that. And then tell them the price and how they can start today. So most of the time, by the way, when I ask them when they'd like to start, most of the time they say ASAP, like 90 to 95% of the time they say like as soon as possible. If they say like 1 or 2 months down the line, figure out why. If it's a real reason, that's totally cool. Just you can still collect the payment on this call today, and you can get started working on the ads so they're ready when they're ready to start. That's actually the best way to do it. Or you can wait a month or 2, but I prefer to collect the payment in the same call every single time. I like to do 1 call closes. That's the best way to do it, and it's just overall more effective that way. You can do 2 calls. 2 calls is totally cool too. I do 2 calls and 1 call closes. Just depends on the situation. So with a 1 call close, you'd basically do, let's see, like steps 1 through 4. So you do steps 1 through 4 if you're just doing a 2 call, and then the second part you would do like the demo and show them how it works and stuff like that. So you do like a 15-minute meeting, and then you do like a 30 to 45-minute meeting, second meeting. Either way is totally cool if you wanted to like prepare a presentation specifically for that business. Tell them the price and how they can get started today, and that's pretty much it. From there, you just shut up and you wait to see what the response is. And as long as your response is good, if they're kind of like a little bit wishy-washy, you're gonna have to solve some objections. That kind of just takes a little bit of practice. And overall, this whole system, like, it takes practice. It's gonna be probably hard for you to memorize all 11 of these things if it's just your first time. But you can have this, like, once again, you're gonna get the slides after. You can have this printed out. You can follow it with your meeting, whatever you want to do, and you can like write out what questions you're gonna ask and things like that. And then finally, you're going to collect payment over the phone and get access to their Facebook page, images, videos, Facebook ad account, phone number, and emails leads will be sent to. And if you have a contract or agreement, you can also have them sign that too. That's optional. Personally, I don't do that, but I'm like, that's not my legal obligation to tell you whether to do that or not. You got to decide that for yourself. So that's pretty much how to close clients in a meeting. Step 5, get ridiculous results for your client, because of course, closing the client's not just it. You also got to get the results for them so they keep coming back, they keep paying you every single month. And to do this, all we're going to do is implement the exact process I showed you earlier for this business. So here's our marketing process. 1, know the customer's demographics, wants, needs, and pains. So like if you're working with a chiropractor, you know that most of them are aged this range to this range. Like you would even ask your client this. All you do is ask your client, like, who's your ideal customer? And then you figure out who's their ideal customer. You work it out with the client. You know what they want, what their problems are, and things like that. So you need to understand the customer first is the most important thing when you're creating ads. Secondly, once you understand the customer and what their needs and pains are, you can create an offer that appeals to the ideal customer. And by the way, many businesses already have this. So that's why I asked the question in the meeting, how do you normally get customers? Because I see how they're normally getting customers, and I just think, okay, how can we do the same thing but with Facebook ads? That way nothing changes about their business, except that we're just bringing them extra customers through Facebook advertising. So that's why I asked businesses, how do you normally get customers? So like for that gym, for example, I asked how do you normally get customers? Well, they do this 7-day pass and then they end up joining. Like they do the 7-day pass, we get their credit card on file. It's kind of like a Netflix subscription. If they don't cancel within the 7 days, then their card just continues getting charged. That's the way they get new customers. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just do the same thing with the Facebook ads. For example, if you're working with a plumber, like how do you normally get clients? They do like a quote or something like that. Now, of course, if you do a quote, you're going to have to make it like probably more unique than that. But if your ad copy and your creative is really amazing, that can still work. You can do something like a free session. If you're working with like a personal training studio, they're like, how do you normally get clients? Well, they come in for a free session. So you just figure out how your client normally gets customers and think about if you can replicate that. You can even ask like, what offers have you done in the past that are successful? And if you're still having trouble coming up with an offer, you can post in like Facebook groups and have people help you out, or you can do some research online. You can check Google Ads and see what offers people are running on Google Ads, see what other businesses are offering to kind of get ideas for what offer to do in your ad. Third, once we have our customer down and we have our offer down, we create an ad that gets the customer's attention, hits home with them, and gets them to take action. And fourth, that's just the sale. And in that part of the process, the business is going to call the customer and book them up for an appointment. And this is a huge key part that many people forget, because you can do all 3 of them perfectly, but if you don't do the 4th one, they're not closing the new customers, then it doesn't matter what you do, because the only thing that matters is the end result, how many new clients are they getting, because that's the only reason they're going to keep paying you more. So I've actually been maybe recommending some people a new strategy of hiring somebody on your team to actually call the leads for your clients, so you don't have to rely on the clients closing them if your clients are doing a bad job. It's like a new recommendation. We're still kind of testing that out with our students right now, but that's something we're working on currently, so you guys can get an inside scoop of that strategy. But you have to make sure that your client is closing the leads and is actually calling them and booking them, or at least texting them to get them booked in for appointments. That is super key, and you have to make sure, it's your job to make sure that your client is booking them for appointments, because if they aren't, they're going to stop working with you. So you need to make sure that part of the process is down good too. And that's why it's also extremely helpful to qualify the businesses first, make sure they're high quality and things like that, because that will make this part much, much easier. Because if they're bad quality, they've never done leads before on the phone, then it's going to be harder for them to close them. So here's actually how you create a lead generation ad like I showed you earlier. All you do is you go to Facebook. So you go to business.facebook.com, create an account, everything, create an ad account, whatever. And then once you do that, you're going to go to lead generation. You go to create an ad, and then you click lead generation as the objective. There's multiple objectives here, but we're just going to do it fast because we're doing an amazing job so far in this training. So lead generation, a lot of the times now I use campaign budget optimization. That's that option at the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to explain that in depth more because it's a little bit more technical. But next step after you choose that is you're now going to choose the targeting. And for this, Facebook is extremely powerful with your targeting. But with Facebook targeting, people way overthink this. The targeting is so much easier than you guys could probably possibly imagine. So pretty much for most businesses, all you're going to do is, first off, you're just going to put the address of the business in there, and you're going to do like a whatever mile radius. You can ask your client, how far are people typically willing to drive to your business? Like he says, they're willing to drive from here to here. You see how far of a distance that is, and then you put in your mile radius based on how far customers are typically willing to drive. A lot of times that could be, if it's a really big city, it might even be as low as 3 miles, but if it's like a suburban area, it might be like 7 to 10, or if it's a car dealership, it might even be like 25 miles, 30 miles, something like that. It just depends on the type of business, so I'd ask your client that. And then from there, for a lot of businesses, as long as they're like their ideal customer range, you have that from your client, so you can plug that in there. Your gender, you can also get that from your client. But here's the thing about Facebook targeting. Once again, like I said, most people overthink this. You want to keep your targeting, especially for local businesses, actually like as broad as possible is usually better, because Facebook algorithm is so powerful. You don't want to be like, I want my person to live in this 1 mile radius and be a female, age 21, and they have to be interested in HGTV, and they have to be a mom, and they have to be married. Like, doing all these things together is really, really bad, because you're not taking advantage of Facebook's learning algorithm. So I actually recommend for local businesses, a lot of times you keep your audience as broad as possible. To give you an example, I a lot of times recommend doing like a broad audience, split testing a broad audience, a like interest-based audience. So you put like a couple interests in there. Like, for example, if you're doing a gym, you do like interested in fitness, interested in bodybuilding, and a couple things similar to that. And you just put like bulk interests, like, and that's not it's just putting those interests in. So they could be any of those. And then a third one I sometimes do is a lookalike. If they have like a customer list, I'll upload that customer list in there. If you don't know what a lookalike is, you pretty much upload a list of their customers. Let's say you have 300 customers, and you upload that list of their information in there. And then what Facebook will do is it'll find like the 1 to 5% or whatever percent you set of people that are most similar to their current customers. So it's going to target the people that are most like their current customers automatically for you. That's another hugely powerful one for you guys as well. So any of those methods work. Those are the 3 most common targeting methods that I use for local Facebook ads. The key thing is, it's actually better to keep your audience like very simple, very broad, especially for local businesses. You can get a little bit more complicated for like nationwide businesses, but even with those, you can keep it really simple. Like, trust me guys, it's better to keep it simple. Facebook will do the work for you with the targeting. Keep it simple. Don't get really specific. Getting really specific does not work well with Facebook ads anymore. And being broad helps like so much more. It helps you take advantage of the algorithm's learning capabilities, because the algorithm will go out and find the people within that audience for you. You don't really have to do much work. So then we get on to the Facebook ad. For that, you're going to put a headline, you're going to put text, you can put a video, you can put an image, you can put a slideshow. Most of the time, what I recommend for most businesses, especially if you're doing like a trial or something, you can just throw up an image, or you can still throw up a very simple slideshow ad. I think I'm also going to give you guys some bonuses after this of some example ad copies I've written for clients, some example creatives and like lead forms. I'm going to give you guys a couple of Facebook ad templates after you watch the whole thing of this training. So you don't have to worry about that. But the key with writing ad copy, there's a couple of key things. First thing somebody's going to look at is the creative. Does the creative look interesting? If it looks interesting, they're going to stop and they're going to look at the headline. So then your headline needs to be good and be interesting enough to get them to keep looking at the ad. And then the third thing they're going to look at is the first line of the ad copy. So this one says like, hey, come take a tour with us. The headline is get a free 7-day pass to whatever. You can also make your headline doesn't have to be the offer. It could also be like, for example, how that video says like, check out our new gym in that city. So it can say something like that. It doesn't have to, don't feel like you guys have to do a video. There's no thing where like it's video works better than images or slideshow works better. No, none of them work better. It just depends on the situation. They all work amazing. So if you want to do a little bit less work, you can just do image ads or slideshow ads, because it's a lot less work than getting a video made for your client, to be honest with you guys. And you can still get pretty much just as good results. So let's say you have an image ad, for example, then in the ad copy, it can be a very simple ad copy. It could just be straight to the point and just do the offer and then sign up to get yours. You can see how this one's here, just like 3 lines. Come take a tour. This week we're giving away free 7-day passes to let you come and experience our gym. Click sign up below to claim yours. And then it has like more information underneath that about the gym and like hitting some of those pain points and things like that. This is like an offer, what I would call an offer-based ad. You don't always have to do offer-based ads, and actually doing sometimes not offer-based ads can help you get higher quality leads for your business. So for example, of a non-offer-based ad would be something like, the headline might say like something like how to reset the anxious brain or something like that. And then it has like an image of like this cool treatment that they're doing. And then the first line might say like, hey, have you heard about this new treatment called this? And then this is how it works. And then it explains like how it works and like how it solves the problems of these people. And then it's like, click sign up or apply now to schedule in free information sessions, stuff like that. So you can do it that way if you want like higher quality leads too. You don't always have to do offers. You can make like very interesting ad copy too. And once again, you'll see those examples in the templates that I'll send you at the end of this training. So here's a lead form example. Once again, reserve your free 7-day pass. Extremely simple. Like I was talking about earlier, the lead form appears below the video or image while playing. So if they click on the video, it'll actually pop up below the video. So they pop up right there. Or if they click on the image will be above it. And just like I was talking about earlier, the lead information autofills has my full name, email, and phone number. That info was already in my Facebook, so Facebook just pulls that in. They just check if it's good, and then they submit their info. It's very, very straight and simple. And once again, tells them what to do next. And you can also add like any button you want there at the bottom. You can be like call now, or you can lead to their website, or it can lead to an upsell, or it can lead to a scheduling page. So you're like, if you schedule now, you'll also get like another 7 days free, or you'll get a free personal training session if you schedule now, and then you put a calendar. So once again, here's what your client gets. They get a text message to their phone. They click the thing. They follow up with them. They get this spreadsheet where they can check which leads came in and everything. And I also recommend, this is like an advanced little tip for you guys, I would recommend using a service like CallRail to make sure your client is actually calling the leads on time and they're actually filling out the sheet, because clients can lie to you all they want. They're going to lie to you. It's pretty much guaranteed. So if you want to keep your client accountable, something like CallRail can be very helpful to you, because it will record the call so you can see what your client's saying on the call. You can see if your client was getting calls and then they didn't respond and things like that. So that can really help you guys like make sure your client's doing a good job, see if they're calling the leads on time, or if they're taking 3 days to call the leads, because if they're taking 3 days, that's obviously not good. So that's how you can kind of like keep your client accountable too. And so here's some real life results with that ad that I kind of showed you earlier, this campaign or this gym overall. We ran multiple ads for this gym, of course, but this is just like one of the best ones. And so this was a gym. Their average yearly value of their members is $720. And we brought them from 56 members to over 300 in 8 months. It took them 9 months to get the original 56 members. And they went from $6,000 to over $33,000 in monthly revenue. That's a total of $72,000 versus $396,000 per year. Their total marketing costs over the 8 months from us and the ads was $22,000. And the revenue gained over the next 12 months that's expected based on that average yearly value of the member is $175,745. So they spent $22,000 to us and they gained $175,745. And like that's how real this is. And even if you guys don't believe it, you can go to my agency's website, wilsonmedia.co, and even check that video out. Don't do it now. You can do it later on, but you can write it down if you want, because you don't want to miss this training. But that's like why businesses are willing to pay you so much. When you can bring them returns like this, it's just no question why they should keep paying you. And it also feels so good because I've literally pretty much changed this business owner's life. It's just an amazing feeling to help someone like that. So here's my local celebrity campaign. And this is a unique strategy that I've never seen anyone else use except for myself. And I call this the local celebrity campaign. Actually, I'll explain that why in a second. After this slide, I'll have some reasoning to show you why I call it the local celebrity campaign. But this is the strategy that I used on this gym, and I pretty much use on all my clients actually. So on the top left there, you can see, and even if you're just starting Facebook ads, you've never run Facebook ads before, don't let this complicate you. You don't have to do this on every client, by the way, guys. Like, you don't feel like you have to understand this completely. This is for my advanced people out there, just to get some like extra knowledge for you guys. But on the top left there, you can see a cold Facebook ad 1, cold Facebook ad 2, and you can have more than that. But those would be like your best performing cold ads. Like for example, with the gym, one of those main best cold ads was like a tour of the gym, offering the free 7-day pass. So the cold ad leads to the lead form and leads to the thank you page. That same formula is right up the top there, like I showed you before. And then once they get to the thank you page, they set an appointment, they come into the gym, and they pretty much have the sale. So what happens if somebody clicks on the lead form and they don't fill it out? Or what happens if somebody watches the video but they don't fill out the lead form to get their pass or whatever offer you're offering? Well, this is where this can be really powerful and actually help create like a huge amount of brand awareness and trust with your client. So if they watch like a video, 50% of a video, or they click on an ad, then what's going to happen is they're going to see more videos from the same client. So it might be like one of these retargeting ad videos, and these are real examples that I used, was like 3 workouts to do your first time in the gym, beginner advice from a champion bodybuilder, like what to do if you're feeling gym intimidation or stuff like that. Just like retargeting ad that provides value and answers their objections. See, the key with Facebook ads is your ads have to provide value to people, because unlike TV or radio ads, people are not forced to listen to them. On Facebook, they can scroll right past them if they're not interested, right? So you have to make your ads actually interesting and engaging for people. So make sure you do all of that. But the reason this is so powerful is because they've already shown interest in that first ad, but you're retargeting them with multiple. So you're going to lead them back to that same lead form once again and get them through that process. You can see how that arrows kind of work out. But this is so powerful because it creates a repetition in the customer's mind where they see this, like they've seen the same gym owner. Like if you have the same person in all the ads, then they kind of become like a local celebrity. Like if you've ever heard somebody on the radio and you hear their voice all the time, it's like over and over, you know this person, they're kind of like a local celebrity now. But it's even better than that because it's like video and image format. So it's even more powerful than that because it's like you can also see the person, not just hear them. So it's kind of like next level stuff. And really hope you guys enjoy that and can take advantage of that. By the way, you don't have to do this. It might take a little bit more work to set this up. You can get amazing results for your clients just by doing the cold Facebook ad to lead form the landing page. You don't have to do any of the retargeting. I've actually done for some of my clients, I've done 0 retargeting before sometimes. Like it just depends on the client, and you can bring them amazing results without doing the retargeting. This is just like a thing to take it to the next level and like a selling point you can use in your meetings if a client's really interested in this. And I call it the local celebrity campaign because if it's one person in the ads, they'll kind of become a local celebrity. Now, you don't have to have only one person in the ad. You can also have like just about the business and kind of make the business like brand awareness. So it's not always about becoming a local celebrity because not every business owner might want to become like a local celebrity. Only some of them might be. So like in that case, like you don't have to use the name local celebrity per se. It can just be like turning their business into like huge brand awareness and like building a lot of rapport with their customers, because a lot of times customers aren't going to trust the business like the first time they see it. They might need to see it multiple times to actually trust this business and actually want to come in. So that's why this is extremely powerful. It helps build a lot of brand awareness, and a lot of people you'll notice will actually start coming to the business in person without even filling out your lead form because they'll see your ads and they'll just walk in person. And there'll be people from your leads ads too, but there'll also be a lot of people that just come in person. So sometimes your retargeting ads might cost, like not always, but sometimes they can cost a little bit more in cost per lead form, but it's still worth running them because a lot of people, you got to keep in mind, is a lot of people may be afraid of putting their information on the internet sometimes. Like a few people might be afraid to do that. So a lot of these people will still come in person without filling out the form too. So that's why these are super valuable, and you can actually crush the results for your clients by using this strategy. So here's why I call it the local celebrity campaign. These are real texts for my client. You can see like the left one there. We're at a parade and somebody in the parade on a float seen me and yelled out, "Hey, you're the trainer, you're the trainer." And then this guy like in Walmart or whatever took a picture with him. And then once again, same kind of thing there. This guy, he said on the far right one there, I just ran in a group of 4 people. He said, "You own that gym, huge deal." Like these people saw him at like Top Golf or whatever. Like he says 3 to 4 times a week, people come up to him and talk to him about that. And like, here's a real life video of the owner getting recognized while golfing.
You the owner of that one gym?
Yeah.
Sunpoint. Yeah, Sunpoint, that's right. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, I've been there, but I always see your ads pop in. I love you guys do some great advertising. Made me want to go, and I don't even work out, so.
Isn't that some stuff?
Yeah.
So you are liking the advertisement?
I love it, yeah. It's better than anyone else I've seen, and you're killing it on social media, so yeah, definitely keep it up. That's awesome.
Yep, so that's pretty much what can happen if you implement all these strategies correctly. So we're on to step 6 for you guys advanced guys out there. And we're going to be covering how to automate and scale your agency to 6 figures and beyond. I love this one. So from my agency, I make $17,000 profit per month, or over $17,000 profit per month, working an average of 2 hours per week. That comes out to over $2,000 per hour. Like honestly, I could have never imagined making that much per hour, but it's just crazy. Like once you automate your agency, how powerful it becomes. You start becoming a business owner and not like a freelancer and working on your clients all the time. So here's real life proof, because I know there's a lot of fakers out there. So I wanted to give you guys a real proof of this. If you don't believe me, even after this, you can check out my YouTube channel. I show proof of my income all the time. But this is like the real life proof. You can see I got multiple clients there paying me multiple thousands of dollars a month, and then $22,900, and then $17,000 profit out of that. And so here's how to automate your agency. The first key to automating your agency is keep your agency simple as possible. You want to have one service, one niche, least communication possible. Design your agency to have the most profit with the least amount of work. And if you followed what I showed you in this training, you can make your results copy paste. So this is why this strategy is really powerful with Facebook advertising, like the strategy that I did with the gym, for example. This could be repeated over multiple gyms and multiple clients. So you can literally even use the same exact ad copy in a similar image in the same headline, and you just copy and paste the results for the client. So like after you got the results for one client, it becomes even easier, and you can copy and paste it to multiple clients. That's why this is super, super, super powerful. And so the reason before you actually try to automate it, your agency, you need to make it simple as possible, because if your agency is super complicated and you're doing all these crazy things, you're spending a lot long hours, it's not going to work out. So you need to simplify your agency as much as possible first. And once again, profit is not related to the amount of time you spend, it's related to the amount of value you bring your customers. So design your agency to be simple as possible with the least amount of work. So take a look at every aspect of your agency and think about how you can simplify it or get rid of it. And so like this is the same thing here. This is how you simplify it. Either eliminate it if you can, that's the best thing to do. The second best thing is to automate it if you can't eliminate it. And the third best thing to do is delegate it if you can't eliminate or automate it. So delegate means like hire someone to do it for you automatically. So automate means like using a software or some kind of automation to do it for you. The best thing overall is just elimination though. Like number one, if you guys can eliminate as many things as possible, that's the best thing to do, because if you just simplify things, it'll make your life way, way better. This is the huge kind of like trap that agency owners get into. Even if they get up to 6 figures, they might be like really complicated. They have so many systems in their agency. You need to eliminate as many as that possible so you can actually enjoy working, because if you're working like 80 hours a week, you're probably not going to be enjoying it that much. So the next thing you want to do after you've done that is you can hire a media buyer. And by the way, you can keep your agency simple as possible from the very beginning. You want to hire a media buyer, and you can also hire a media buyer after you get your first paying client even. Like you can literally do it then, because all you do is you pay them based on how many clients you have. You don't pay them like $6,000 a month straight off the bat. You can pay them like if you get a $2,000 per month client, you can give them 25% of that, or depending on what country they're in, you can even give less than that. But you can give them like 15 to 25% of each client, and they can literally do everything for your clients. Like my media buyer, like my agency is so simple that I have literally like one person that does all the ads for my clients, that handles all the ads for my clients. And because we spend so little time on our Facebook ads themselves, my media buyer can handle like 10 clients without having any trouble at all. And he's actually not even working full time either. And he's making like $6,000 a month from me. And he's probably working a couple hours a day, like 3 hours a day about. It's just crazy. And so the key is, for finding a media buyer, you can find them in Facebook groups or like a white label company. I recommend hiring, so like white label companies, there's ones out there you can use, like a white label company. I don't really recommend those, to be honest, because I like to keep my clients' results and like rely on myself to get my clients amazing results, not rely on another company. And also if you use like white label, you can't really sell your agency. But if you have your own employee, you can kind of sell your agency still. And it doesn't have to really be employee, it's usually contractor, because you're paying them on like a percentage of what each of your clients pay you. You're not really paying them like a set amount. So like they're also motivated to keep the clients, so they keep paying them. And so you want to give them one KPI to achieve per client. That's literally all you do. You don't have to be talking to them every day. I meet with my media buyer once per week, and that's like the 1 hour that I spend meeting with them, and then maybe like 1 hour doing like random stuff throughout the week. Like that's how simple it is, because they're taking care of everything. So I just give them one KPI per client. So I say, okay, we got this gym here. In order to get them a good return on investment, we've figured out that we need to get a $10 cost per lead. So just keep the cost per lead $10 or less. That's their only job to do. As long as they keep the cost per lead $10 or less, I'm happy. We don't even have to do anything. We don't even have to talk to them. So I meet with them once per week to make sure they're achieving all their goals. If they're having any trouble, we work it out. We come up with a new plan for a client if they're starting to get close to that cost per lead amount that we set, or that KPI. That's pretty much how we organize a media buyer. Like you want to have as least communication as possible. That is a huge key to automating your agency. So you set like just one KPI for your each of your employees or whatever, and then that's how they know what to do. You're just saying, get a cost per lead of $10 or less. I don't care how you do it. You just got to follow these rules. You got to send the ad to the client before, and some simple rules like that, but that's all they got to do. And so you want to also have a way of consistently generating meetings. That's another way that's important to automate your agency, because there can be times where you lose a client. Now we want to focus on really retaining our clients as long as possible, because if you retain your clients, you don't really have to even get new ones if you just keep getting your clients anyways. But either way, you still want to automate your agency by having consistently generated meetings. So all you need to do to get consistently generated meetings, like infinite ways to do this. So you have to come up with this yourself, but you can use any of those methods. You got your personal network, the cold email, you've got the cold calls, like any Facebook messages, like or you can even run Facebook ads to get clients, like what we're doing for the clients, but just run that to get your own clients. You just do the same lead generation kind of thing that we're doing for our clients, and you just do it for yourself. That's another way too. But you have to have some way of, and by the way, guys, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you have a lot of money to invest. You probably want at least like $1 to $2 grand to invest into, if you're going to use like the Facebook ad strategy to get your own clients. And I wouldn't do that if you're like a bare bones beginner, because you need to have a little experience to do that and understand how the ads work and be good at writing ads. But you just have to have some way of consistently generating meetings. You got to figure that out yourself. Like, for example, if you're doing like cold calls, you make the strategy for cold calls. You know how to get your list of customers. You know what to say when you call them. You have your script down. And then all you do is you find someone, you train them how to use your same script. You can find someone on Upwork or the Facebook groups, whatever, and you train them how to do the same thing that you do. And then once you've trained them how to do it, then you've got that part automated. You're consistently generating meetings. You can either keep doing the meetings yourself, or you can even hire a salesperson or have that same person that's doing your outreach be the salesperson and automate that to train them how to do that. So of course it's going to take a little bit of time to train them, but the business will last you like a long time, and it's going to be totally worth it to train these people to automate the process for you. Now, I would recommend that you do some of this and understand some of this at first. Like, I wouldn't try to, like, if you're bad at sales and you're just like, oh, I'm going to hire someone so they'll do the sales for me, like, they're not going to trust you and they're not going to like respect you. So get good at the sales first yourself and then hire and train someone to do it. But yeah, besides that, it's pretty much straightforward. A media buyer, though, you can hire at the very beginning if you don't want to do the ads yourself at all. That's totally cool. A lot of people have experience in that. And you can find like really motivated media buyers by just going to like Facebook ad groups on Facebook. And like a lot of these people in here are really into running Facebook ads and they love running Facebook ads. So you just post what your offer is. You say, I'll give you 25% or I'll give you 15% of each client that I get. That's estimated like $375 or $500 per client, whatever. And you just kind of make some simple deal like that. And a lot of people will be interested, and you have them like interview with them, make sure like find the best person, everything like that. And so if you want to automate the process with a contractor, another key tip you can do, like with the cold calls and stuff, for example, or anything that you want to automate, if you want to automate your, like somebody do your emails for you, you can record a video of how you answer your emails and like telling them what to do, and then boom, you give them that. And then you have this, eventually over time, you have like this bank of videos telling everyone how to do everything. And once again, like you want to keep your agency as simple as possible. So that also means you want to have as few contractors and people working with you as possible. So for me, I have one media buyer. I have one that does YouTube ads and one that does Facebook ads. So I kind of have two, but I have one that does like majority of my clients. And then I have my meetings I get automatically through my personal brand. At the start, of course, I did it the same way that everyone has to start out, like my personal network, reaching out, walk-ins, cold calls. I did it all. But over time, after like 2 years of doing this, I started building, like my clients got good results. They refer me to other people. I built a personal network out. I got to build a personal brand. I built a Facebook page with a lot of friends on it and stuff like that. Over time, you can kind of build that out, but that takes time. So you got to get started sooner than that. So you guys get the idea. So here's how to scale your agency from 6 to 7 figures. This is like the big time. Once you get to 6 figures, how do you scale it to 7 figures? Well, there's 3 options for that I believe are the 3 best options and best ways to do that. So the first way is to systemize results for one specific niche. So you get it like extremely simplified. You're very laser focused on one specific niche. And you've got like the copy paste ads, and it's very simple to get them results. Like you've nailed this down. You've got this, like you've nailed down the process of getting this niche results, and you just duplicate it over and over and over again. And to do this, once again, you have to have if you want to scale from 6 to 7 figures, once again, you need to have a way of consistently generating meetings. So like there's so much value. Like this is just another like tip that I've never heard anyone come up with before that I think will really help you guys out. Like another trick, once you get your agency a little bit big, you can partner up with like other businesses that serve your industry. So for example, I know this guy that does like $300,000 per month or $200,000 per month with chiropractors. And all he did to get clients consistently was he partnered up with this company that sells chiropractic equipment to the new chiropractors, or sells chiropractic equipment. So like when they sell the chiropractic equipment, they are like, are you interested in Facebook advertising? And then they set a meeting. So they pretty much made like a partnership with this other business that's working in the same industry, but they're not competitive. So that's like another huge, powerful way you can get a lot of meetings consistently. Another thing you can do, this is the second option, is focus on super high ticket clients or commission clients. So this could be like working with e-com stores, like $1 million per month e-coms, or like $1 million per month revenue e-commerce stores only is the only clients you work with. I also know another person that does this, and they make like $300,000 per month with 4 clients, believe it or not. It's the most insane thing. He's 17 years old. It's crazy. And he makes that much per client because he's working with these gigantic clients, like clients doing at least $1 million a month in sales. So if they're making that much money, they can actually afford to pay him like $80,000, $90,000 a month. And he does, like, for example, he does like the ads for them for free to show them the results for 1 week. And then he says, oh, I'll take 10% of the revenue or something like that. So you think 10% of $100,000 of the Facebook ads generated money, that's $100,000 that he's getting for running their ads. Like, it's just crazy. So you can also do super high ticket. Now the downside of that, and the reason I don't do that, is because a lot of times it can take like very high expertise and you might not be able to automate your agency as much. But if you love doing the ads and you love just focusing on like super high ticket and you want to make like a really big amount of money, like that can definitely be like probably one of the quickest ways is once you get it become an expert in Facebook advertising, you do it that way. But third option to scale your agency from 6 to 7 figures is create a DIY program / course. So there's a company out there called Gym Launch, and they do that pretty much for gyms. So they did the marketing for the gyms at first, but eventually they got to the point where it kind of became hard to scale, because scaling an agency, the difficulty with scaling an agency is when you're hiring in more and more employees, it kind of becomes like a game of telephone, and trying to like train these new employees that are getting trained by other new employees. Like if you're growing really fast, it can become difficult. So these are kind of like more scalable models that can help you guys be able to scale without having that issue. And so what kind of ends up happening if you do like a traditional scaling your agency where you're doing like a lot of different niches, or you're not following these 3 methods, you can run into the problem where your new clients are not getting very good results. And because like your main person that was doing the ads at first is really good at the ads, but then you hire new people and they start getting worse and worse and worse, and your clients start getting worse and worse results. But if you use these methods, you can keep your clients' results high while still scaling up to ridiculous amounts of money. So DIY program / course. So basically what this is, you sell it for like multiple $1,000s. You can even have them still pay like a monthly payment. Like Gym Launch, I think, has them still pay a monthly payment. And what they do is they pretty much teach the gyms how to run the ads themselves and how to close the clients themselves and everything like that. And so the gym owners run their own ads, they run their own funnels, they run their own stuff like that. And then they pay them like, let's say $2,000 a month, for example, to get that training. And maybe they have some coaching calls with them and stuff like that. And like they pay the monthly fee because they'll give them like, let's say like new things each month. Like maybe they'll give them a new training, or they'll give them some like new ads they can run for the gym, or like keep getting updates on the thing that they've currently got. And, or you can even do it, kind of position it this way where they're getting everything, but it's more so like they're paying 26 grand, but they're paying it over the course of 2, or 24 grand, but they're paying over the course of 2 years. I also know the chiropractor client that I've actually worked with on their Facebook ads. They charge chiropractors 24 grand to do this for them, but they just do it like a payment plan where it's $2,000 a month over 2 years. And that's how they've scaled their pretty much their agency. So in today's training, we covered these 6 steps to start, scale, and automate your social media marketing agency. We covered step 1, build your foundations. Step 2, find hidden gem clients. Step 3, secure meetings. Step 4, close clients. Step 5, get ridiculous results for your clients. And step 6, automate and scale your agency to 6 figures and beyond. Let me ask you this. Did you find this training valuable? Like compared to other trainings you've seen in the past, did you find this valuable? Was this the best free training you've ever seen? Because I spent a lot of time on this, and I really wanted to make this the best free training you've ever seen, because I've had a lot of problems in the past where I've watched a training and I've been like kind of upset with the value. But I wanted to ask you, was this the best free training you've ever seen? If it was the best free training you've ever seen, keep watching. But if it wasn't, you can just leave now. That's totally cool. I only want to show you guys this if you truly believe I provide you with a lot of value today. So I covered a lot in this training, but what do I say in the meeting? How do I master the art of convincing clients to meet with me? How do I separate time-wasting clients from easy, high-paying clients? How do I stop procrastinating and actually take action consistently? How do I properly onboard a new client? How do I know what to do every step of the way? How do I follow up? How much do I charge? How do I guarantee success? How do I pick a niche? How do I collect automatic payments? How do I write amazing ad copy and create high converting ads? How do I hire the right media buyer, train them, and automate my agency down to 1 to 2 hours per week? How do I manage my clients' Facebook campaigns and make sure they get results? How do I help my clients close more leads? How do I ensure I keep my clients for life? How do I scale from 6 to 7 figures without adding more work? How can I learn from a mentor and copy the system of someone who has done this before and pretty much save 2 to 3 years of my time? Because I covered a lot in this training. Like, it was a decent amount of time long, and I'm sure you guys found it really valuable, but there's just so much more to cover. And if I told you could get over 25 hours of the same level of content as this training, covering every microscopic detail of starting, scaling, and automating your social media marketing agency to multi-six figures with as little as 1 hour of work per week, would you take me up on that offer? Introducing Six Figure Agency.